let's check the answer together. When we run this part, the first one returns just one single item, and the second last item, because this one is -2. So the second last item is the last item is 5. The second last item is 4. So the answer is 4. And the second print expression says that return items from the fourth last item to the last. All right, what is the fourth last item? 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 2. And I told you that this item is not included, so it counts up to 4 right before the last item. So this one returns 2, 3, 4. All right. And this expression alters items from 2 to 4, 2, 3, 4, 20, 30, 40. However, this one does not contain like 3 items. It contains only 2 items. However, it does its job anyway. It does not incur error. That is some weird Python operation. So after so 20, 30, 40 is inserted at this position, right? So this is somewhat weird. However, Python tries not to incur error in this case. Okay. So that was the result of executing this part. All right, let's move on. So you can play with Python lists, and you need to try to understand the functionality of Python lists. Another example is like, let's say another list, a sample list. Then what will be another list? And so try to understand these kind of things. Even though you change another list, this one is linked to sample list. The sample list also changes like this. So try to test many functionalities of Python on your own and try to understand the mechanism of Python code. All right. This is somewhat confusing at first. However, you will become familiar with these types of functionalities or mechanisms. All right. From now on, I would like to talk about conditions. So what are conditions? We talked about Boolean variables in the last class. And in Python, we indicate true and false using capital F false. If statement is true, we do something. And if you want to implement this part later, you can use pass keyword here. And in another case, if else another statement true. This one corresponds to else if in other languages. Do something else. I'll pass here. And in the rest of cases, I do things like other things. So basically, conditions consist of if statement and elif statement and else statement, else block. You can skip these two blocks, and when you just want to use this block, okay? So this block is necessary, and you can choose either of two, all right? So for example, let's say x is 2. If x equals to 2, and this double equal symbol means x has the same value as 2. If this is the case, I'll print x equals 2. In other cases, print x does not equal to 2. So when we run this part, because x is 2, it says x equals 2. If I change x to 3, then it will say x does not equal to 2. All right? So conditioning is quite easy. All right? And when you want to compare some numbers or expressions, I told you that you use double equal symbols to check whether these values are the same values. So when we run this part, it says x equals 2, so it becomes true. And x is not 3, so it is false. So it prints out false. And is x smaller than 3? Yes, that is true. So it prints out true. All right. And you can combine some Boolean operations. I'll show you some examples. You want to check if the name is John and age is 23. And it will print out that John, age of 23. And let's say Mike. Let's do this later. And you can combine two operations using and or using this or keyword. So because name is John or Mike, it says hi. What about Kate? It does not print out hi because neither Kate does not satisfy neither of these. All right. There is one question. What does pass mean? It means it pass this part. If I don't put this pass keyword here, then it will incur an error because there is nothing inside this elif block. And when you implement some programs, you sometimes want to implement it later. In those cases, you indicate pass. So I will implement this part later, the Python interpreter, Python program, all right? So that is what pass means. So if you do not put pass here, it will also incur some error because else block does not contain anything. So I'm indicating that I will implement this part later, the Python interpreter. All right. Good question. And another thing you need to understand is in operation. Let's say name is John again. And if name in if this name is inside this list, because John is inside this list, it is true, okay? You can change this one as either is okay, okay? Let's say Paul, because this name is not inside this list. It goes to else block and prints out your name is not in our list, okay? So you need to understand this in operation, or operation, and an operation, all right? And another very confusing thing when you first learn Python is and double equal symbol. So I'll give you an example. Let's say X is a list of 1, 3, and 4, and Y is another list containing 1, 3, and 4. And when you try to print out X is equal to Y, then it prints out, yeah, it's true, because they have the same value. And when you try to check, is X Y? Then it says, no, X is not Y. So let's put Z, that's Y. Let's put Y into Z. And let's print out Z is Y. Then it says it's true. So what it basically means is this one compares the content inside the variable. However, this is operation compares whether they are the same thing. So for example, if I change the first item of X to 10 and print X, they are now different, right? And if I change the first item of Y as minus 10, they are the same values, because Z here indicates the same thing, or thing here is object. I'll make it clear in the next class when we talk about object-oriented programming. So what you can understand here is Z and Y, although they have different names, they're actually the same thing. However, X and Y at this point, although they have the same values, they are different objects, different things, okay? So these double equal symbols compares the values or content inside these variables. However, this is operation compares whether they are the same objects. So if I change the content of Y, then Z also changes, even though I don't do anything to Z, okay? So this is similar to what we've done in this part. All right, so try to understand how naming changes the values or variable, the content of a variable. All right. I'll give you another exercise. What will be the results of running this code block?